Welcome, South Africa. Inspiration and motivation is what fuels any individual on a regular basis, and affirmation is what keeps you, I would say, fueled. Mr. Vinesh Maharaj, who is an absolute amazing corporate motivational speaker, is in studio with us on the Get Real Talk Show. Welcome.
Hey, thank you very much, David. Great to be here.
Well, the pleasure is all ours. I mean, let's talk about that, being a motivational speaker, because not every individual out there is designed to be a motivational speaker. Some can really drain you out, and some can really inspire you, and you are one of those individuals.
Yeah, I'm really blessed and grateful. It's the path least traveled. Most people want to become doctors, lawyers, dentists when I was growing up, and today everybody wants to be a TikTok influencer. So to become motivational speakers off the beaten track, it's definitely the path least traveled. And I would say that, you know, the road to becoming a motivational speaker is very personal and unique and individual to each and every one of us. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to be a motivational speaker as a career choice. So I've been very blessed and grateful that even though having grown up poor on the Cape Flats home, where we had very little but the fight for survival, and I always knew intrinsically that there was more to life. There was more to success. There was more to have, to experience, to endure and enjoy. And unfortunately, my mom and dad had the wrong information. They thought, get a good job, get a good house, and have some kids, and you'll be happy. And if you look around us, who's happy? And most people are miserable, and they're pretending through life. I found a better way, and that was, how do I become the best version of myself? How do I fill this cup so that every day I can go into the world and help fill other people's cups?
Yeah, and talking about that, I mean, you're from Cape Town. We very few of our guests are from Cape Town, so we have to send a shout out to our Cape Town viewers as well. But let's talk about that. And you said that, you know, you come from a very poor background, and you could have chosen a different path, but you've chosen this path. Was there any instruments leading towards this to say, you know what, I would like to do this because I've been through a certain incident in my life?
Hey, absolutely. There were several incidents, but I'm going to pick out three of them. The first one, I'm 13 years old, and I look over the road, and the people had beautiful homes and cars and holidays and clothes, and all we had was the fight for survival. And I thought, God's playing a sick joke on us, clearly. Why do they have more and we have so little? And as I introspected upon that, I realized a few things. Number one is what I said earlier, we have the wrong information. So I'm 13 years old, my uncle leaves town and leaves a box, a brown box of books. And I go through these books during the summer holiday because I have nothing to do. And one of them was the 50 greatest people of the world. Mother Teresa, Einstein, Madiba, Martin Luther King, Thomas Edison. These are the few that I still remember from this 50 greatest people of the world. And as I read their stories, I said, hey, I have what they have. I have the desire, the ambition, the hunger to make a difference. So I could resonate with that message of what they had done in their lives. So that was a turning point in my life. The second turning point was I picked up a book. I used to work because we were so poor. My dad was retrenched for 9 months, unemployed, no income. And I lied to the ShopRite Checkers manager and tell him I'm 15, I need a job. Sorry, I'm 16. 15 was my actual age. So I lied to him. I need a job. Can you help me? I'm of age. They hired me. And while I was working there to put food on the table, now how many 15-year-olds have to feed a family of 6? That became my responsibility. So I'm 15 years old. I'm going to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday while my friends are playing sport, swimming, surfing, and having a good time. And as I got older, they were going clubbing and I was working. So I'm 15 years old and I'm working for this bread to put on the table for the family. And next to our store, there is a P&A, the bookstore. And in this P&A, two things attracted me. Number one, there's a very young, beautiful girl. And more importantly, they had a book on the shelf called Awaken the Giant by Tony Robbins. Now, the book was 500 Rand. And 500 Rand for a student was a fortune, so I couldn't buy it. So I went in and I read it every lunch break. And by the end of the book, I went, oh my gosh, I have all this potential. Why am I wasting my time here pushing trolleys and packing bags? Vinesh, you're destined to do something incredible. Now just go out and do it. So that was the second turning point. The third one was, sadly, we had lost a 4-year-old daughter. She was misdiagnosed with pulmonary hypertension. And pulmonary hypertension in children often is misdiagnosed. It comes across as asthma. So my daughter's diagnosed as asthma, and we think, hey, that's chronic. What can we do? My wife has it. My kid has it. 3 months later, she breaks out into blue limbs, blue lips, and we rush her to an emergency room. Lo and behold, she has something called pulmonary hypertension. She's put on oxygen and all types of drugs. And 3 months later, she dies in my arms of heart failure. It devastates my family. It shatters my home. And at this time, I'm training sales in insurance. And I was working for the system, for the man. And I just reflected on her life and how meaningless her life would be if I didn't pull the trigger and become the man I was meant to be. And that was a turning point.
And with that in mind, we'll take a short break and we'll be back after this. Welcome back. And if you've just joined us, we are in conversation with Vinesh Maharaj, a motivational and inspirational coach who goes around motivating individuals in many of the corporate environments to uplift them and also give them the skill to show what is best suited for the customers. And that's something that you do on a regular basis. Let's talk about that. And I know you visit the Hirsch's stores.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, I'm blessed and grateful to work in the Hirsch stores. Mr. and Mrs. Hirsch, incredible people, phenomenal success story. Richard and Lucy, who are doing great things to blow up that brand. And then the people they employ. So much of heart, so much of commitment to do better for themselves and their families. And part of my job with the Hirsch brand is to help increase the customer experience so that customer care is first class and 5-star. And secondly, to increase revenue. The business needs money. Now, people come to work every day, sad, depressed, hungover, health problems, money problems, relations. We're humans. We all have it. So how do you transcend that and become a world-class producer for you and your family? And that's part of my journey with the Hirsch team.
And let's talk about that. I mean, do individuals that go to work on a regular basis need motivation to stay rehydrated?
My friend, everything is motivation. For you to get up and go to the bathroom, you're motivated to empty your bladder. For you to wake up in the morning to go to work, you're motivated to pay the bond or the rent at the end of the month. For you to get out of bed and have breakfast, you're hungry, you're always going to need motivation. Now, of course, there's a difference in motivation and discipline. Motivation is about getting started. Discipline is what keeps you going. So most people can't get started because they don't have goals big enough, juicy enough, exciting enough that they want to go after. And if they have goals, they don't have the self-worth or self-esteem to believe that they deserve that. One of the things in the Cape Flats is why are 80% of my friends still stuck in a shack or in an outbuilding in their mom's home 30 years after I've left, is because they couldn't transcend themselves and they stayed stuck. They were not motivated to move towards a better life.
Yeah. And one of the, I would remember this topic, and you said, would you rather be in this position or would you rather be in that position? And you always say that.
Absolutely. You see, life is about choices.
Yeah.
And people, by not making a choice, are choosing. And most people choose the current level of comfort. But your current comfort is your future discomfort. So the more you stay comfortable, trapped here in mediocrity, trapped at being overweight, trapped at being poor, trapped at being lonely, trapped at being in ill health, as long as you keep unconsciously choosing Magwenyas or Bunny Chow's, sorry Durban, or Gatsby's Cape Town, if you keep choosing junk food, how will you have a six-pack? How will you stay healthy? So if you don't make a conscious choice to be healthy, you're going to make an unconscious choice and be sickly. So would you rather be sick by your choices, or would you rather be wealthy by your choices? And life's full of choices.
And how do you actually maintain that this individual stays motivated by you? I mean, what would be your point to this? I mean, you've gone to this individual now, or individuals, and you've spoken to them, but how do you say, you know what, this is where you need to remain? Because you do get, some would be like, no, I don't really need this.
Absolutely. And I think if you look at the world, many people just surrender and they just have a job. They just go to work, you know, and they repeat the cycle for 40, 50, 60 years, and they die unfulfilled. And no amount of motivation is going to get them to change or transition to become more. I really do believe that if you take people who want to change, who want to achieve and want to accomplish, and you start working on two things, their heart set, what do they believe? And their mindset, how do they think? And if you can merge these two together and align it to an outcome or a goal, you'll see that people suddenly get inspired as opposed to being expired or perspired. So what I want to do is I want to take those people, set in place a series of rituals, activities, and habits that creates a trajectory that inspires them, and by every step they take moving forward in that direction, it creates a habit. And when a habit's created, hey man, if you're a runner, if you've never run and you start running and you get the runner's high, I don't know if you know what that is. Your body is a chemical factory. It can produce drugs of all kinds, including a high. Runners run not because they love putting their knees under pain. They run because they get high running. Now they become so addictive that they always want to run. Success begets success. Success is addictive. I remember my first paycheck, a real paycheck, don't laugh, was 1,600 Rand a month. My highest paycheck was 250,000 Rand in 1 month, right? So the point I'm making is, would I go back to 1,600 or will I go and test 500,000 Rand as an income? Success begets success. And people who taste it want to stay there. A great example, we spoke about the Hershey's. They're successful, they are building an even more successful brand. If I think about Warren Buffett, he's been going for 80 years and he's becoming more and more successful. You think about Steve Jobs, you think about Elon Musk, you think about Jeff Bezos. In 1990 when he started Amazon to sell books online, nobody was buying books online. He didn't stop. He's now one of the wealthiest men in the world because success begets success. It's addictive.
Yeah, and we're going to be chatting to Vinesh Maharaj after the break. And some of us are still wondering whether we're doing the right jobs. 250,000 Rands a month. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. We are chatting to Mr. Vinesh Maharaj from Cape Town, who does frequent visits to Durban, but situated currently in Johannesburg. Vinesh, let's talk about the services that you have to offer and how can our viewers get in contact with you.
Hey man, the first recommendation I would say is go to vineshmaharaj.com. Register, subscribe, and check out some of the services. In corporate, I do lots of conference speaking. This is typically sales and motivation. Sometimes I'm hired as an MC. I've been told I have a radio voice. No radio station has hit me up yet, so clearly everybody's wrong. Secondly, I would say we also run a series of programs for large businesses that are not corporate. And we do things such as sales training so that their sales team can increase production. I also do a whole host of motivational programs. One of them is Win 2025. We do fire walks, ice baths. We help people set goals in various areas of their lives. We eliminate their limiting beliefs and eliminate their fears and doubts. The reason why most people never go for greatness is because they have all this BS programming, and BS is not a swear word, it's belief systems. They have the belief systems that limit them, and we want to give them empowering belief systems. So to do that, we also host team buildings, and these team buildings are where we drive human potential beyond the limits from where they are to where they want to be. I do believe that every single one of us wants to be skinny, happy, and rich, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be too. You deserve to be happy, you deserve to prosper, you deserve to be loved, and you deserve to have the best life ever. And the only person holding you back is the space between your ears. If you can change the way you think, and you can change the way you feel, and you set into action a series of goals, your life will change. But it doesn't happen overnight. It happens by momentum. Just like an avalanche. Starts with this tiny grain of sand or small stone or pebble, and before you know it, a whole mountain crashes down in the valley. Hey, start an avalanche with me. My name is Vinesh Maharaj. Check me out on social media at Vinesh Maharaj on Instagram, TikTok, and every other platform you can find.
Wow. And what keeps you motivated?
My potential. I believe that I'm at the bottom of the valley, and I have all of this potential, because who knows what my potential is besides me? My mother don't know what my potential is. When your boss gives you a target, or your parents give you a career, they don't know that you could be way more than that. To close and answer that question in another way, I often say that we are all spiritual by nature. You have the soul or spirit or the spark of life within you. Who can put a limit on that potential? Yes, your body has limitations, but your potential is unlimited. So my potential inspires me. I know that I can do more. I know that I can be more. And I know that based on the number of hours that I squander every day. And everybody here and in the world, South Africans spend on average 9.24 hours. That's 9 hours and 24 minutes scrolling on their device. Hey, stop scrolling. You're getting poor. Start investing in yourself. Mindset, skill set, habits, coaching. Become the best version of yourself and stay motivated to be the best version of you.
Wow, Vinesh, thank you so much for inspiring us. Quickly, just your handles one more time for our viewers.
At I am Vinesh Maharaj. I'm on Instagram, TikTok. You'll find me on YouTube. You'll find me on Spotify, I think. You'll find me anywhere. Go to Google. I'm your friend.
That's Vinesh Maharaj, motivational and inspirational speaker. And he has certainly uplifted all of us in here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Wow. So we'll be catching up with Vinesh on a regular basis, and we will be staying motivated by his tips. So join us next week when we chat to more wonderful guests like Vinesh. My name is Denver Naika for the Get Real Talk Show.